Hello everyone! My name is Anastasia and this is the channel where I want to talk about cross stitch. This is Flosstube number 4. Oh my god, that's so many already. I never could imagine I would make so many videos when I started it. So today is the 16th of April. So it's almost the half of April, and today I want to talk about my whips, my works in progress, and my possible Maynia plans, because I kind of mismatched all the Maynia. And the April I'm doing the month of starts. It's not that I'm intentionally starting all the things just to start them. Like, I know on Maynia you have to start like 20, 15, 30 projects, like to go out of your comfort zone. But I'm just in the mood to start new things and try new things, and it's not that I get bored by other projects, I just want to try all the things at once. I will start showing all of my whips from the oldest to the newest. So my oldest whip so far are the magpies and persimmons. Yeah, you can see persimmons, you cannot see the magpies, just the tail. I will put the image of the full full here. So how do I hold it? Like that. So what can I say about it? First, it was a kit. Like, I have this kit. Oh, I don't need to put on an image because it's here. So it is a kit from Xiu Crafts. Xiu Crafts, Xiu Crafts. So you can see 2 magpies and lots of persimmons. And it was originally on a 16 count Ada with the printed background. There were some shades here, and here there were the words, and it was like great. It's kind of bluer on the picture, but it's very, very great. It has the chart, and it has lots and lots and lots of floss. Like, it's a ton of floss. And when I bought it, I think at that time I just started cross stitching. I went again into cross stitch, and I stitched just some of the Russian designers, and I was like, I can buy a kit. And since I'm in China, I need to choose something local. Like, why not to buy a Chinese company? Just to try, you know. So I decided to buy a kit which said 22 inches on 22 inches. So it's 58 by 58 centimeters. And when I received the fabric, and when I opened the kit and I saw the fabric, I think it was bigger than this picture. So literally when I stood up and I just hold the Ada, it was from my neck up to my knees. And I'm not a shorty. So I was like, oh wow, how am I ever gonna stitch this? And I don't have a scroll frame or anything. Like, I'm stitching in hoops. I had a comment on the video what I used to stitch. I'm using Nurge hoops. They are metallic and plastic, and I have a bigger one. This is like medium size. I have a small, super small one, I have a bigger one, and this is the medium size. Usually I stitch on the medium ones because they're easy to hold, and the bigger project I stitch on a big one. But how I was gonna ever stitch that big one? I'm like, okay, whatever. I tried in hand, I tried making scroll frame, making it. So I had another painting by numbers, so I just ripped it off and took the frame and mounted it on. So yeah, I'm not looking for easy ways to just buy myself a scroll frame. So I started stitching it from this bird, which was in the middle, and I think the middle is her wings back there, and so I almost finished the tail, and it was somewhere in the middle of the wings when I saw that probably the way I keep my fabrics at that moment wasn't right, or I don't know, maybe it was some fabric fault, but on the gray Ada there started to appear some rusty dots. Like, they were tiny and almost unnoticeable when you like pull away. When I'm stitching, like I'm looking, I was showing like I'm eating with my eye, but it looked like that. But when I'm stitching, I'm holding it next to my face, so it's noticeable. When you pull away, it's not. But I was like, I'm not gonna stitch it in 1 year, maybe a couple of years. I was hopeful back then. So I was like, maybe I will stitch in 2-3 years, and I will, maybe these dots will grow, and I don't want some rusty dots on the sky of my magpies. So I was like, why don't I just try linen or even with like some fabric? And of course, my first mistake, like, this is my project full of mistakes. It's full of my love and full of mistakes. So I choose linen, and the idea was to stitch 1/1 or 2/1. I didn't decide back then. So because it has some blends, so probably 1/1 full cross. So I will put the darker blend Zarka thread first, and the lighter thread on top, or in half stitch, and then it would be like 2/1. So I decided to stitch it over 1, and you see it's way smaller than it was originally. So I decided to stitch it on linen, and it was my first mistake because all the crosses are not even. It looks amazing. It's not even backstitched yet. It already looks amazing. But when you stitch it, it's not a nice thing, because some of the stitches are thicker, some of the stitches are thinner, some of them smaller, somewhere the thread just sinks it under the linen. So if you ever try something 1/1, try it even weave. So even weave saves a lot of time and nerves. So then I was thinking that if this big project was supposed to be on 16 count, and I was trying 25 count 1/1, so I'm kind of was making it 4 times smaller. So I will need 4 times smaller the fabric. No, it will not be 4 times smaller. This was when I learned about the fabric calculators free on internet, but it was way later after I ordered this fabric and started stitching on it. So it's much smaller than it should have been, plus when I dyed it myself, so it's not natural blue. I dyed it this blue, so it's a little bit like very bright. Yeah, like this. It's very, very bright. And some places are darker, some places are lighter, some places are almost white. So it's a little bit like changing. But when I dyed the fabric for the first time in my life, I didn't make anything. Like, I didn't, you understand what I want to say. I didn't stitch over the crease, so it will not fray so much. And it frayed like hell. Like, oh my god, so much it frayed, like you can see. some places it frayed so much. Oh, yeah. So when next time I measured it, it was like 5 or 6 centimeters, like this much frayed. I'm like, what? Why is it so smaller? But at that moment, I didn't decide to order another fabric. I don't know why. I decided to use this one. So if we will see the picture, original picture, and what I decided to stitch is that I had to cut like just the starter of this gray leaves, and my picture also starts with this persimmon, and I think it will cut like up to here maybe. I don't know, it covers these leaves, but I'm not sure it will cover these leaves. And it's not much stitching here, like this is a shade. These are shades which were originally on the Ada printed, so I'm not gonna stitch them, like I don't have a pattern for them, but I have a pattern for the sleeve, and I think it's gonna cut off like that. But like it just has a very little space down there. So I started stitching one over one. So this piece, I think, like, is stitched full cross, and I hated how it looked like. So after it, I started stitching 2 over 1 half cross, and I didn't rip it out. It's just this corner. So yeah, it's 1 over 1 full cross, and then next to it is 1 over 1 half cross. And I don't know how I stitch, but it also goes in a wave. Like you see the wave, it doesn't go straight. So this is how much I stitched so far. No back stitch yet, and it looks amazing. And it's like 1/3 of the whole project. And I think the thing I don't like about this project is that the pattern is on huge pages. There you go. Like, this is the middle page where I originally started. So the pattern is bigger than my cross stitch. So it's on huge pages. I highlighted it in pink, so it's okay, I can still see through that. There is a huge color key, and there are like 12 pages. 12 pages in total. One of the pages is not stitched at all because one of the pages go up to this corner. So it's 11 pages for cross stitching. And so far, the last 3 pages, like it's 4 down, 3 across. Last 3 pages are partial pages because I think they start like here. So there are partial pages and 2 full pages. 3 across, 3 full pages, 4th is half page. Anyway, some of them are really small to stitch, like there is a page that goes like this, which is just the his tail. There is also a page that goes like this, there is only like leaves on it. So, and this page was like just the leaves and a little bit of just the leaves, I think. That's like the last half page, something like that. So some of the pages are very small, some of the pages are very heavily stitched. So I have 1/3 of the project. In the way it will go all into it, so it will be finished like here. So you can see it's exactly 1/3, but in the height I cut it badly. Yeah, so stupid. And since I finished so much, I'm not gonna restart it on anything else. I'm just gonna stitch it like this. How I'm gonna frame it? Of course I'm gonna frame it. Nothing No folding, just framing in a frame. I think I will send it to a framer, like, because it will take me so long and so much effort. It deserves to be a good FFO, so professionally. And I don't know what to do with these margins. So there is like some places there are millimeters of margins. So yeah, I'm gonna send it to the framer. And this is how it's already 2 years. So I remember that I ordered it in April 2018. So 2 years, third of the word. It's not very difficult, and when I start stitching it, I can't stop. Like, I love stitching this project. Yeah, there is some ups and downs and the tension of the linen, but I mean, I really love all the colors, even the grays, and oh, these persimmons are just lovely, and they're gonna be more of the magpies, so I'm excited. So I think I'm gonna spend first 20 days of my Maynia stitching this, and it's not that I'm not gonna spend time on other projects. I'm actually gonna stitch something else, but the first 20 days I'm gonna make it a focus piece. So every day I will put at least like one thread or 100 stitches or 200 stitches on it, and my goal is to finish one huge piece in the middle, the full page in the middle. And the full page is gonna be approximately like this. It's like the body and the head of this magpie, and the head and the body, and the start of the tail of this magpie. So there is a partial page here which has the leaves and some of the tail, and there is a partial page here that has this wooden piece and something else. I mean, there are 4 of them, so yeah, there are more. But I will focus on making the magpies, and I intend on stitching at least one page in 20 days. If I will finish it, I will go and try to finish the whole second third, but I doubt. It's so much stitching. I have no idea how much stitches in here, but I guess it's more than 50,000 or something. Like, it's a lot of stitches. It's super tiny. Oh, you can see it. My camera don't have such a focus. It's super tiny, but it's so lovely. I mean, it's my mistake piece, but I still love it. I absolutely love it, and I think it's so me to just take something very good, prepared, and do it all the wrong way, but my own way. So this is my first whip and my Maynia project. So what I'm gonna show you next is my second oldest whip. This is the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, the Storytime Sampler. So I started it in October 2018. So it's a year and a half now. And first I saw this on the Stitching Mommy channel, and she had it as her, as you see, there is nothing much. So I will show it closer up. She had it as her travel project, and she stitched like 1 frame a month or something. So I was greatly inspired. Like, I really like her projects. I'm not into hate stitching or golden kite stitching or big project stitching, but some of her little works I'm so into it. And how I watch Flosstube is that sometimes my tastes are totally different from people's tastes. In my eye. Oh, my water got in my eye. Oh, it just gets more and more awkward every time. So, some of the projects that people teach go against my tastes, or I'm not really interested in them. But if the person is very interesting to watch, says a lot of information, talks about his life, and very energetic and interesting, I would watch him or her. So most of the Flosstubers I watch, I don't share their taste in things they stitch, but their desire to stitch, it really inspires me. It's like, yeah, I can be that dedicated too, and if they are doing such a huge project, I can do something too. So, but then she showed this project and I'm like, oh my god, that's such an amazing idea, because I love reading. Like, I've been reading all my life. I remember when I was a kid and my mom and dad would put me to bed, and they would be like, you can't read, it's time to sleep. So they had to take away the book from my room. Otherwise, I would go under the bed, put on the flashlight, and I will read a book. And at some point of my life, I was like, whenever it was time for them to come to my room, I would hear their steps. I would switch the books, something close, and my mom would be like coming in, taking away the book. I would go under the bed, take away the book I'm really reading, and continue reading it like for half a night or something. Also, one of the punishments my parents inflicted on me was like taking away my books. So whenever I would be like not behaving or something, then like, now you're punished, like go and do your homework or do something, whatever. And I would finish my homework and I was like, it's my free time, I want to read. And I'm like, no, you are under reading arrest, you're not gonna read. And they will hide the books from me. So yeah, it's just I was kind of not a kid, but in a nerdy way. So, and the idea is to stitch 12 books in these frames, like I understood it as stitching your childhood books, because lots of them were like Alice in Wonderland and Peter Pan and Anne and Green Gables and stuff like that. And I was like, that's just child books. Some of them are more serious, like Sherlock Holmes and Opera Ghost. So, but as for me, at first sight, I was like, oh, that's like childhood books. That's cool. And then when on the website, they have this listing of all the frames and the books. And I'm like, I have never read half of the books there, because being born in Russia, some of the things we read are much different. Like, I have never read Anne and Green Gables. I haven't read The Secret Garden. Like, now I have read them, but in my childhood I didn't. And at first I tried to reread these books. Like, I was like, I can stitch them and read them, and that would be nice. But some of the books, they are for younger readers, way younger readers than I am. So they didn't impress me a lot. Like, they were okay, that's it. And I wasn't really into stitching something that I wasn't like, yay, my favorite book. I wasn't into stitching 12 books I didn't love. So I decided to rechart some of the frames, just some of the frames, just a couple, to change the books I have never read. And I ended up recharting 8 frames. So originally I left Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, the Wizard of Oz, and the Sherlock Holmes, because I think it was 6th or 7th grade when I read Sherlock Holmes in the original. My English teacher, I was studying English from 4 years old, and on the course of my life, I was reading lots of books in originals, and in the 6th grade I was reading Sherlock Holmes. Of course, for the 6th grader, it wasn't like the coolest book ever. Of course, with Harry Potter coming out and all this stuff, but I read it, so I consider it as my childhood book. So I recharted some of them and I stitched the frames. What I did is I ordered specifically all the variegated, they are all variegated threads for different frames representing the book they are for. So I like bright colors, so for me it's okay if it's absolutely bright and not really in the color, with like they don't suit together or something, like it's blues and grays, these are greens and these are greens and browns, this is purples and pinks, this is pinks and yellows, this is yellows and oranges, purples, blues and greens, just emerald green for the Wizard of Oz, and this will be Peter Pan. So how I pictured it is that I will put the books I read from the super childish ones up to more and more serious ones, and I'm not going to disclose all the books I loved, so I'm going to stitch them all in turn, and I'm going to show them in turn how I stitch them. So till the end of April I'm going to finish 2 more frames, and in May I'm counting to finish 4 more. So yeah, I want to stitch them. So I recharted it, I spend lots of time on it, I'm choosing colors as I go, like I don't have a special palette. Of course, when I charted, I used the colors from the program, but when I was looking at them, I'm not gonna pick out the floss from all of my palette of colors. I'm just gonna use whatever I have in hand and just make it work, or some leftovers or stuff. So first of all, I made the Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh, I think it was one of the books I learned to read on. So I used the book to learn to read in Russian, of course. So Winnie the Pooh, I had this toy. It was very yellow, like bright yellow, so I made it very yellow, and it has bright red t-shirt with WP on it. So I made it as I had a toy. It has a little honey beehive, yeah, honey beehive. It has some flowers. Originally I was thinking it's clover. Like I love the clover as it's like pinkish purplish, and it has a puffy circle on top when it grows. These are 2 little bees. They say buzz, buzz. I don't know if you can see it well. No, you cannot see it well. So you can go to my Instagram and it has a close-up. And this is a piglet. It's also how it was shown in a Disney movie. So it's pinks and this natural color. And I did the grass and the sky, so it's like a picture. It's like a mirror where you can see the whole world of that book. Like it's a glance in the mirror of that book, or in the world of that book. So some of the frames are not fully stitched, so they don't have a background or some of the grass, so I'm gonna stitch them all, like full coverage. So this is Alice in Wonderland. I didn't change much. I think I changed the color of the Cheshire Cat. It's pink and purple, like very pink and purple, like it was in Disney movie and Disney cartoon. The rest is, I think, is charted. I added some pink and purple flowers on the branches, but you can't really see them, so small. but I mean, me knowing that they're there and seeing them, I think it's enough. So this is my second whip. Yeah, and it's been 30 minutes. Oh my god, you are gonna hate me for showing so slowly. So, and I don't really have anything very old anymore. So this will be the whip from February this year. Sorry for the threads. Yeah, I'm stitching, like parking them. So this is the Winter Sheep by Heritage. It's based on the artwork of John Clayton. So it's Winter Sheep, and why I bought it, it's not really my style. Like, it's on Ada and it's not heavily backstitched at all, and it's all grays and it's winter. Like, I would not say this is really my project, but when I've been in Thailand this year, at first time over the years, I found a cross stitch shop. It wasn't very big or something, but they had some John Clayton circles. So I was like, come on, I'm just picking up something as a souvenir from there. Like I did with this one. Like, it's not my aesthetics, but I loved it. So, and I'm loving this. I'm absolutely loving this. Let me do it like this so it wouldn't be scaring you that much. So there is sky, there is some bushes, 2 ships here, and half of the ship here because there will be her face here. Some of the first of the houses and the bushes. The snow is stitched, like this is all solid white, and there is some more white in here. Yeah, you can see it. So it's 50%. Like, it's literally 50% of the work. It has some here, it has some over there and here. So I use my phone to track the progress, so it says 50%, and I believe him. It's full coverage, not Ada, not that I really like it, I mean the Ada, but I'm loving this project. And to tell them more, it's like I think the third of all the stitches is done with blends, maybe even more. The third of all the colors are for blends, because if we see the color key here, I'll just show the color key. These are for solid colors for cross stitch, 2 strands. These are for cross stitch in 1 strand, and these are for blends. So we can see it's the same number as, well, even more, I think. There are more of them here than in here. So there are more blends than solid colors. And I thought it would be difficult, but it's not. I mean, they're lovely. I'm just wondering how this blend of purple and blue will give you gray, or this blend of brown and yellow will give you gray also. It's all giving me grays, but I'm actually stitching with very bright and wonderful colors. I mean, when you see the colors on the palette, they're so bright and nice, and there's some purples and blues, and it all give you gray. So, and at first I was starting just to stitch it in pieces, like piece here, big piece here, big piece here, but then I started like column completing it. So that's why I'm that's why I have so many threads. Like, I haven't finished this column here. Yeah, so I'm making it in columns, and now it's 50%. So my goal for April, I started in the end of February. I stitched it in March a little bit, maybe 16% in total in March, and my goal for April was to put it up to 50%. So it's done. I'm putting it away for now. It's still in my whip rotation, but not for the nearest future. Maybe like for summer, maybe for winter in the summer or something. Then after it, I was into really starting things, trying things, dyeing fabrics and stuff. So my first start was the magical lantern. I'll show it once again. It was my first April start. Magical lantern. It's already finished. I finished it in 5 days in total. So I absolutely love it. I dyed the fabric for it myself. So this is the first April start. Then I wanted to try different things. Like I stitched on fabric, I stitched on Ada. What else can I do? I started to stitch on wood. And this is the fall wreath. Fall wreath by the company, I think it's Ukrainian company called Fruzilok. They make up patterns and they sell a whole kit. So they sell you a pattern plus this wooden cut with all the little holes in it. So it's made of wood, it's solid. And it smells so good. I mean, it smells a real forest. They actually include all the DMC floss. They include the cranix. I have some cranix on the beetle. This is the beetle. You see, it's horns and it will be a beetle. I have some cranix on the beetle. My friend had some beads on her wooden cup. She had a cupcake. So they include the beads. They include everything. They're not cheap, but I mean, they're wonderful. So what I will have in the end is this. So this is the wreath with the sunflowers, the cranberries, the nuts, and some and they have the wooden leaves and the thread to tie it up with. They have the backing felt, like for the back. They have the backing felt pre-cut in the shape of this wreath. So it also has a hole inside and everything. So just glue it on and that's it. They just didn't include the glue. That's it. They include everything. So it's not very simple like I thought it would be, because it's actually 10,000 stitches, a little more. And this is the color key. Like, yeah. And these are the blends. There are around 40 colors here. But I mean, it's absolutely a joy to stitch. First of all, it's big. And when I hold it like I hold a hoop and my hand don't hurt. Secondly, I'm color completing it. So I already kicked out the less usable colors, I think. I started with the cranberries because they're very easy to spot. Like this is right in from the corner, this is next to the hole, this was easy to count from, and I counted this from this hole. So they were very easy to count. And then I color completed, I think, the most usable yellows. They're very big and to use, I think 300 or 400 stitches each yellow. So I have this layout of stitches. At first it was difficult to count, but now when I have this layout, it's very easy to color complete. So just these leaves and these leaves, and it's so nice to hold. It doesn't have any splinters or anything. It's very soft, it's very nice made. It smells of wood and absolutely joy. I'm widely recommending this. Like, this is viral in Russia. Like, almost all, like, I wouldn't say all, lots of people on Instagram are stitching something on wood. And not even from Fruzilok, because there are lots of people right now in Russia who are pre-cutting foundations for cross stitch. You just send them your pattern, your measurements, and they will send you the precot, like you want an angel, they will send you in the form of angel. You want, I don't know, flower, they will send you a flower and stuff like that. So in Russia it's very popular right now to stitch on wood, really. So it's nice, it's very colorful. Yesterday I was working on black in the beetle. Yeah, and you can actually see like there are sunflowers here and the cranberries and some leaves, and there are gonna be some nuts here and nuts here. So yeah, it's going nicely. But at first I spent whole week focusing on him, so I would put 500 stitches every day, I think for 6 days, because one day I was out. But for 6 days I was putting 500 stitches on it, and but I couldn't do more. Like I couldn't do 1,000 or something. And the rest of the day, if I finish 500, I will start something else or put something else in the rotation. So this was focus piece for a week, and this is how much it growed. I think it has at least 4,000 stitches right now. And I was stitching it a little bit this week. So the next start, which I did, okay, this way, was, yeah, this is on a fabric that I dyed myself, and it's called the skull of the cat. So this is the beginning of the skull. It's like eye socket and tooth. There are gonna be some flowers around it. There is gonna be a leaf here and some flowers there, and it's made only in backstitch. Like the original pattern is charted to stitch on white, and instead of these splotches, there will be some half stitches in blues, so that like imitating watercolors. So that would be like the skull in backstitching, everything in backstitching. These black spots, they are backstitched, they are not stitched. And there's some splotches of colors, like in watercolor with half stitches. But I decided I don't want to make it blue, and I didn't really want to make it half stitches anything, so I decided just to focus on backstitch. So this is how much I got. I don't think I spent too much time on it. Like maybe it's like 4 days work of 2-3 hours. That's it. So I didn't spend much work on it. The designer is Makaronka Stitch, and I absolutely love how it works. Like I already stitched her grip fin, and I stitched the jackalope, the rabbit with the horns. Yeah, I'm like remembering and showing myself to help myself remember. So yeah, I wanted to stitch something in backstitch, and when I saw her work like that, it was amazing. For someone who doesn't like backstitch, it would be very difficult because the backstitch is not counted, and I chose even weave for this, and sometimes some backstitch it goes in the middle, or it goes in very like in every thread, or like between the fibers and everything. So, but I mean, it's amazing. So I am thinking of finishing by the end of April. So this was one of the starts, I think the third start. Yeah, and I dyed my fabric for it, so it has some splotches like back there too. I think it goes all the way up here, and maybe some leaves here. So yeah, I actually tried to make the splotches the same places as the half stitches, so it's kind of look alike, but still love it. And I love how it looks like. Yeah, the fabric is way bigger than I need to, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I'm loving it. And this helped me in some challenges. Oh, I absolutely forgot to say, this year I was originally joined a cell, Stitch from Stash, but it's not Stitch from Stash that is in Facebook. That's Russians organized their own kind of Stitch from Stash. It's a little bit different rules. So the rules of this Stitch from Stash is that this year you have to stitch only the patterns you already own by the beginning of this year. So you can buy fabrics, you can buy floss. We don't count the money at all. You can get some gifts, and maybe you can buy something if you like limited editions or something. But you have to like leave all the things you acquired this year for next year. Like you have to stitch only things you had by the 1st of January this year. So far I was doing good unless I bought this. And I bought it and I was thinking like I would leave it till next year, okay. But then I was left in Thailand with no stitching, so I had to start it. It's not like I had lots of stuff to do there. No, we went on a vacation, but we didn't spend much money there. We were like saving stuff. And so, yeah. And then I broke it all. I broke it all because of this. So I think everyone knows The Light by Barbara Anna. Oh, absolutely love her. So I'll try to make it smaller. So when all this Be Well and Stitch stuff was coming out, I was like, okay, some of them are very nice for smalls, for example, or I liked most of them, but I was like, okay, I can stitch them next year. Like, even if I broke at first, it's not like it could be exception, you know. I still should have followed Stitch from Stash rule. Stitch only what you had. And then I saw that, and I was fighting myself. I was fighting myself like for maybe 2 weeks, and I was like, come on. You live just once, and we are in a situation like that when maybe next year it won't be so important for you to stitch all this Be Well and Stitch projects, because of course Barbara Anna design is contemporary. You can stitch it anytime, but other things I started right now are only for this like I have this quarantine feeling, so they support it. So I started them to make myself feeling better. So I started with this. The fabric I dyed myself. Oh, like maybe, yeah, like here. So I spent 3 days on this fabric. For the first day I was boiling it in coffee. Maybe 4 hours, maybe 4 hours, 5 hours of boiling it in coffee. It was supposed to be brown, and it washed out. Next day I was baking basting, like Priscilla and Chelsea's tutorial on Flosstube. So I was baking it. Didn't work out either. So next day when it all dried out, and I saw that it's still not that, it was nice, but it wasn't that blackish as I wanted it, because it's light. She should go in the darkness. Like, I like how she looks like on a lighter fabric. Sorry, I need to drink a little bit. Oh my god. Sorry. So, but, sorry, not sorry. But she's holding the lantern, and the lantern I wanted to do in sparkly threads. So I was like, it should go on a darker one, definitely. So I took some black dye and I dyed it over all of it. So my husband, after hearing the story of this fabric, he was like, are you sure it is just not gonna fall apart in the process of stitching? I'm like, you know, honey, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I'm doing it. So this is the ivy. I didn't like that gray color. I love the gray colors, but I didn't want the gray colors on my fabric because my fabric was already blackish gray. So I chose this variegated thread. It's the same thread that I used for my frosted pumpkin stitchery frame. I think it was this frame here. It's gray and a little bit this light green. On a camera you get it a little bit darker. Like in real life it's more vibrant, it's more bright. On a camera you get it a little more primitive. Okay, so I stitched the head of the fox and I started with a vine. Oh no, I stitched the foxtail and I started with the vine. Yeah, I stitched the foxtail as it started. I like the colors. And I started with the vine, and then there were berries. They were supposed to be the same color of the fox. And for me, it was some kind of dissonance. Like, how can a fox be the same color as the berries? I mean, the berries, how can the berries be the same color as fox? So I just took out some leftovers from the poppies, and I think they are the perfect berries. There is like dusty rose color, dark dusty rose, and the burgundy dark or something like this. So I'm doing berries in my own colors. Then the keys charted, the fox is charted, and the dress, I didn't have the new colors of DMC, the number 4 and number 9. So I just opened up a list of DMC colors that look almost the same. So there is a list of colors in the new colors and the DMC colors that can be substitutions. Some of them are darker, some of them are lighter. So I thought 838, I think, 838 brown. It would look wonderful brown because I wanted it originally to be more brown, not so light. So I thought the brown dress would look wonderful. So that's my another start. One more Be Well and Stitch start is from Little Room in the Attic. Oh, she got 3 freebies of the girls sitting home. One of the girl is on the window with her cat, another girl is reading with a lamp, and one of them is sitting on a sofa. This is sofa. A girl with her legs up. This is a notebook. No, laptop. This is a laptop. So she has a laptop on her lap and a cat. So yeah, this blotches her cat. So I finished her hair and her dress, and I'm kind of working on a sofa. So I didn't want, it's asked for lots of craning. I didn't want to use craning, so I used the DMC Etoile for her hair, for her dress, and I'm just substituting color as I go, and I'm absolutely loving it. So this is almost how I am at home. I have the blue sofa. I'm here at home. I changed the, she was supposed to be red-haired. I changed it into more blondie colors. She looks kind of red-haired, but actually it's like I took these colors from another pattern from Little Room in the Attic, the one with the blondie girl. So this is how the blondie is, but I like it. I mean, I'm not so yellow and light myself, so why not it will be. And I have lots of pink clothes and I love sitting with my laptop. So yeah, Be Well and Stitch, and lots of cool stuff there. Like follow the hashtag on Instagram and look at all the free stuff that designers are showering on us. I'm so excited and I'm so thankful for that, because in this difficult period it's wonderful that we have so many wonderful ideas to stitch and start everything. And my last start so far, not the last start I'm gonna do but till the end of April, but so far I started, is the Night Spirit Studio, the Plug Nurse plague nurse. So how I learned about it is I was watching Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World, and she showed these amazing patterns by Night Spirit Studio, and she was talking a lot about them in her whips and finishes, and like just talking a lot, like every time mentioning them. And I was really interested in like checking them out, like why not? Just to see what kind of stuff they have, because I see her whips, but it's not like the whole stuff they have. So, and like yesterday, I stumbled upon their yesterday morning I stumbled upon their Instagram page, and the first post they had a freebie, the plague nurse, and I was like, OMG, I'm stitching it. Many reasons. The first one is that it's very pixelated, no backstage, it's like a computer game. And currently when I'm stitching, I'm watching playthroughs of different horror games and Aslam games and lots of games, because I don't know, just sometimes I do this, so they don't require to focus much and they tell me good stories, not unlike the movies. Movies still require lots of focusing. So, and I just picked up some floss and started stitching it. I changed the grays a little bit because again it's asked for new threads numbers 1 to 4 of new DMC colors. I didn't have them, so I just substituted to the grays I had, but I don't see much difference. Like, there is still different shades and everything, and I love it. Second reason is that my mom is currently working in a medical institution. She's not a medical worker, like she's not a nurse or anything. She's a secretary of the doctor. So what is she doing is she's working with papers and everything, but she still meets the patients, because some of the patients are coming in to give her some papers. And it's not the in medical institutions related anyway to the virus. So it's medical institution about the skin disease and stuff like that. So no way there will be sent any people who has virus will be sent there. But you know, still every day going to work to a medical institution, every day meeting sick people is still frightening, super frightening for her. And when we Skype and talk, I feel this for her, because I consider myself in a way better situation than she's right now, because we don't have any panic, we didn't have any shortage on food, we were practically just living through every day as we are, just not going to work. I didn't have work for the last 2.5 months, 3 months, but we have some savings, so that's fine. My husband was doing some online lessons, so we still had some income, but my mom is right now going to work every day, and that's just very frightening. And I don't know, it just really inspired me. Looking at this nurse, I'm thinking of my mom, and I needed to stitch it as soon as I saw it. So Night Spirit Studio, they're awesome. They have so much awesome stuff. After I finish it, I'm gonna go and buy all they have, everything they have, and maybe stitch all of it. And that's it for now. These are all my whips. So there is one more thing I consider a whip, though I haven't started it in any way. Is with my friends, we were making a round robin around Russia, and then it came to China to me. And the rules were that you, on a big piece of fabric, you choose just a small design that will fit the frame. We didn't make frames, but we gave the measurements. Like, I think it was 68 by 72 or something like that. So you choose a design that will fit in there, you stitch it, you write down in backstitch your name and where you're from, and you send it to another one. So a lot of people were participating. I stitched my part for another person and sent it away, and she received it. So another person has my stitching. But now I have to stitch the final part on the piece that I received. And I just wanted to show you all different designs my friends stitched for me. So there are 11 of them. And this is a huge piece of fabric. And you see, there is a corner left for me because we're all friends and we want to be together. So some of them I don't know the designers. Some of them I know. If I know, I will tell you. But these are the things that they stitched for me. Some of them are 2/2, some of them are 1/1. This amazing thing has a dolphin, the wheel, and the fish charms. Now, the little birdie, the girl with the suitcase, and it actually says travel light. So I know she was meaning me. I know she was meaning me because I travel a lot and I always travel with my backpack or a small suitcase. So yeah, that was for me. And the teen with the house and roses, Harry Potter, because I love Harry Potter. I don't think I ever stitched Harry Potter, but I love him. Absolutely love him. Read all the books. Studied Harry Potter with my older students who were like 14, 13. We were reading Harry Potter with them. And she put the Deathly Hallows sign. And she put some beads here. So it's so cute. I know it's a freebie. So this one is also so cute. It's a teddy bear and the button flowers here and here. This is stitched with variegated thread. It's said in bulk, and it has a little jingle bell here on a sheep. And this is supposed to be mine. So it is in my whip pile, and yeah, it's a piece of shame. It's a shame on me that I still haven't stitched anything. Yeah, and I think it arrived here in March, April 2019. So it's been 1 year since it's here. And I haven't stitched it. So shame on me. Bad girl. Have to go and do it. And I don't know, just someone has to push me because I'm starting all the things, I'm stitching, and still I'm like starting on impulse, you know. I see this, I want this, I started it, and yesterday I stitched like 3 hours maybe, that's it. So, and I just get them in this rotation. And that's up for my whips, like active whips, non-active whips, my Maynia plans. And I wanted to show you something else. And I know that I will be beaten for it, beaten hard, because it's my husband's whip. It's a little kitty. So it's a pillow. It's stitched on this very hard, grungy canvas. It's stitched with this threads. I don't know, you can knit with it. It's very thick, and it's full cross, 1/1. Yeah, he stitched almost the whole face except for the mouth, eyes. He stitched the blue stripes, and he said it's his sweater. He's in a sweater, and the paws, he said that he's having gloves. So what's the thing with it is my friend gifted me this cross stitch as a kid. And sometimes, you know, when non-stitchy people give you cross-stitch presents, they give you something you don't really like, or you don't really want to, and you don't stitch. And I was like, oh my god, it's so much work for a cat when I can stitch something so intricate and small and some delicate things. So I don't know, I was about to stitch it someday, but not right now. So I like how it looks, but I wasn't in love with it to just start right away. So, and then my husband was like, why don't you stitch it? I'm like, I don't know, I'm just not in the mood. And he's like, maybe one day I will stitch it. And I remember that. So when this whole thing started, I was like, hey honey, why are you just sitting there playing with your phone? Why don't you just put your hands in a good use so you can pick up cross stitch? And he's like, no, I don't want to do this, don't talk to me about it. I'm like, and at some point I made him start with just green and just the eyes, and it was an addiction. So he made all of this. He's not stitching every day, he's not stitching much, just like 1 or 2 hours while he's listening for a book or we're watching some movies, but he's really feeling it. I'm not thinking like he will be stitching anything else, like cross stitch related in his life, but he's not a crafty person. But he really felt it. Like when you cross stitch, you meditate, you put the stitches together, you see the softness of the fiber, you feel it, he just felt it. And first he was like yelling at me, and not yelling like angry yelling, just like, oh, go away from me, like that yelling. So so he was like saying no, he will never do it. And after a while he was like, where's my cat? Where is the cat? Where did you put it? Like, do you want to stitch it? He's like, yeah. And then he went to see his friend and like, are you gonna take the kitty with you? He's like, no, I'm not gonna take the kitty with me. I'm like, are you ashamed to show your friend, your male buddies, your cross stitch project? He's like, no, I'm not ashamed to show anything. And then I would be like making small videos how I harass his kitty, and like, for example, I spilled some water and made the kitty answer some questions. Who made this puddle? Just funny videos. And he's like, stop touching my kitty, what are you doing? Stop doing that. I'm like, I put his kitty in a freezer just for a second, just to make a video. It was fun, it was super fun. But he was like, oh my god, what are you doing? I'm coming back, I'm saving it. So yeah, even non-crafty people, they are still feeling the beauty of cross stitch. So thank you everyone who watched this video, who are still here with me, listening how I ramble again. So thank you everyone for watching. Put me some likes, subscribe if you like it and want some more. I will read all your comments, and if you have any questions, just ask them. If you want any patterns, just ask me. I will try to find the links as best as I can.